Joe Russell with the front line with Joe and Joe. Once again, let us go into the breach. Pierre Poilievre has a gift for Justin Trudeau. It's a back-to-school calculator. Play the clip.
And so, as Parliament gets its back-to-school moment coming, I have a little donation to make to the Prime Minister. It is a calculator to help him calculate the cost he is imposing because of his inflationary deficits and carbon taxes. The more he spends, the more things cost. It is time that Justin Trudeau got a calculator and found out how to work it, because right now he's just not worth the cost.
Couple comments. Justin Trudeau knows exactly what he's doing, Pierre, and you know that too. He's just distracting the people with rhetoric, deflection, gaslighting, and full steam ahead. He has an ideology. People have to turn off the mainstream media. These podium discussions, particularly with Justin Trudeau, are an absolute waste of time. He doesn't answer questions, and all he does is deflect, distract, and gaslight. Stop listening to him. Turn him off and look in your refrigerator. Look at your checkbook. Look at the price of gas. That should be enough, but sadly it isn't, because people belong to a political tribe and they've tuned that out. It's time they open their eyes, because they're getting pummeled. This is unacceptable news. Jagmeet Singh uses once again deflection to avoid the reality that his government, as well as Justin Trudeau's government, is grooming children. And a mom has some reactions. Play the clip.
First thing I would say is, beyond the fact that there's deep concerns about this harming children, the fact that conservatives are focused on this at a time when people are struggling with their groceries, are struggling with the cost of their housing, shows a complete lack of any sort of understanding of what people are going through. It's absurd that they're going to target kids, put kids at risk, and spend their time on that as conservative governments, rather than deal with what people are actually going through. So they want to harm kids rather than deal with the cost of living, rather than deal with housing, rather than dealing with the cost of groceries, cost of living in general. This shows what you get with conservatives. This is why people should be deeply concerned about conservatives getting into power. They focus on things that harm kids and ignore the challenges that people are faced with in their real lives. That's exactly why folks should be very cautious about conservatives. Pierre Poilievre might talk with great slogans. When you look at conservatives, what they do in Ontario, their plan for housing was corruption, to give their billionaire friends billions of money. And they focus on hurting kids instead of dealing with real challenges. That's what I think this all shows.
Listen, there are problems in Canada, but if you don't take care of your children, you don't have your priorities right. And they are owned by the Rainbow Reich Mafia. Yes, you heard it correctly. The Rainbow Reich Mafia owns Justin Trudeau and Jagmeet Singh. They have bowed to the altar of an ideology which is absolutely and utterly destroying children. And it cuts across all political lines. It's a loser, and they should get off the bandwagon, but they're not going to. It's full steam ahead. And the 1 million person march, which is coming, is going to show them just how much the people are against it, as well as them.
It's time for a fake news flashback.
Dougie Ford comments on Donald Trump. Play the clip.
You know, what he has said is inexcusable, some of the things.
Then how can you still support him? And all these revelations from women coming out saying that he has sexually assaulted them. How can you still stand by him?
First, you have to make sure it's true. Mm-hmm. That's the first thing. So accusations are coming out.
Sure, but it's almost reminiscent of Bill Cosby, when they just start piling on, and there's a ring of, common accusation here.
It's inexcusable. But I look at the alternative. The alternative is crooked Hillary. That if you ever look into their background, I have to wonder how they made all this money when she was in government. They didn't own a business. There were tens of millions of dollars, and she was Secretary of State.
He even drops the crooked Hillary term. Interesting. Why does the press hate Donald Trump, even in Canada? Because Donald Trump is anti-establishment, and it's about time regular people are anti-establishment too. Remember what I'm telling you. It's not about liberal versus conservative. It's a net zero gain. That's what they want. They want to distract you. They want to divide you. It's about the people versus the establishment. Donald Trump isn't perfect, but I got news for you. He is at least trying to take down and take back some of the power the establishment has taken from you. Listen to Dougie Ford. He's a rock star. Oh, the elites are laughing. Are you, Canada? Absolutely not. And they're going to keep laughing until people open their eyes. Listen to what this man from Nigeria has to say about coming to Canada. Play the clip.
With the management. I said, no, that's wrong.
If you had to give any advice to someone in Nigeria who wants to come to work in Canada, what would you tell them?
No, don't come to Canada if you're stable back home. It's not worth it. It's just a fleece. It's a mirage. And that's the truth. Some of us are here because we've decided to come. For example, coming to Canada as a consultant psychiatrist, I had my hospital, I had the money, I had my driver, I had everything working. I had 3 vehicles. I had built a house and I was living in a duplex. But why did I come? Some of us, we looked at it and we said, you know what? For the sake of my children.
So did you come to Canada mainly for your kids?
2 things. I wanted the international community to benefit from my wealth of knowledge. I also benefit from them and use it to build Africa. And at the same time, Canada is rewarding me with citizenship that my children will benefit from.
How do the salaries differ in Canada compared to Nigeria?
Salaries in Nigeria is better, you understand? Because I can be making an equivalent of $1,000 in Nigerian naira. The amount that I'm going to spend out of that $1,000 to get my house, rent, everything may just be about 300 or 400. I have opportunity to save like 500 from my salary. Well, you can't try that here in Canada.
Your rent takes...
It's not even enough. You have to cut your coat according to your clothes in Canada. Because your rent, many things are competing. So it's like they give and they take. The system will take it away from you, from parking lots, from the toll gate, from bills, from charges, everything, bus pass, they will take your money.
When you have people from Africa saying not to come to Canada, that should tell you something. Not that I'm picking on people from Africa. The quality of life clearly isn't as high, or is it? As a G7 nation, think about what this man is telling you. Canada has been ground into the dust under a totalitarian state pretending to be a democracy. The people who are looking for freedom are finding that their life is as difficult, if not more difficult, from the place they came from. Listen up, Canada. This is happening and the world is watching. Joe Russell with the front line with Joe and Joe. Once again, let us go into the breach. Enthusiasm is building in Canada for the 1 million-person march to defend the rights of children. To do what? To be boys and girls. Is that such a crazy concept? I guess it is. Play the clip. This is the very thing that America should be doing. All people of goodwill, whether you consider yourself a Democrat or a Republican, a liberal or a conservative, should be on the side of children. Sadly, we're listening to the talking points of the mainstream media. Sadly, we're listening to the globalists, i.e. the UN and the WEF. And ultimately, the only loser is children. Is this clip San Francisco? Is it New York? Is it Los Angeles? No, it's Canada. Play the clip. When will enough be enough? When will America and Canada open its eyes? The WEF is not helping your citizens. And sadly, the politicians have embraced this ideology because they are fully on board with globalist policies, which are grinding the average person into the dust. George Soros is being allowed to operate. and fund organizations and politicians that are destroying the average person. He should be banned from both countries, particularly America. WEF policies are destroying the average person. And if you support politicians that are on board, you, if you are not rich, are enabling the very people that are grinding you into the dust. Drop your political ideology and open your eyes. To all my Canadian American friends, if you like what we do on the front line, I'm asking you to give $1. Just $1. Production costs money. We do it for you. We are self-funded, and $1 goes a long way. That's less than a cup of coffee. In Canada, a cup of coffee might cost $5. So you're getting off easy. Please, just give us $1 and we'll keep the content coming your way. God bless you, and remember, stay free.